What's up, guys? Back again. So today I want to talk about a movie I watched for the first time, which is Blue Steel, a Catherine Bigelow, Jamie Lee Curtis film, which is a very cool duo. I like that Catherine Bigelow is one of those directors where I love all the stuff I've seen her do. Like, she's really, like, the way that she handles action and the way that she handles realistic, gritty type of violence in her movies, I think is great. I love the realism with her movies. I love how gritty they get, and I love the effect on like how I feel affected whenever I watch them. Like, she's very, very good at that, and she's just a great director overall. So I don't know if this is one of her first movies she's directed, because I know Point Break came out, I guess, a year after this one, because this said 1990 or 1989 whenever this came out. But Point Break came out in 91, so maybe this is her first movie. I don't know, but if it is, this was a solid first outing. I really enjoyed this movie a lot. I really enjoyed the plot too. The plot is that Jamie Lee Curtis plays this cop named Megan Turner, and she shoots down this guy and murders him, who is trying to rob a grocery store, and he doesn't like his gun is just gone after she shoots him and kills him, so it looks like she killed him in cold blood, and like he did nothing wrong. So she is revoked on her on being a cop, like she is suspended. And after this happens, there's this man who is like the 44 Magnum murderer, I guess is what they call him in the movie. He starts murdering off these people, and he sets his sights on her. And this sets off a kind of cat and mouse game between them both, and they both like have to outsmart each other. And that's the basic story of this movie, and I really enjoyed the story. But first and foremost, I really enjoyed Jamie Lee Curtis in this movie. I think that she gave something that, to me, would have made this movie feel like it was just... I don't want to say, like, okay, because Catherine Bigelow, all the stuff I've seen her do is great, but I felt like she gave a lot to this role. I thought that Jamie Lee Curtis really did sell this person, this character who is also under prejudice and bias about being a woman and being a cop, and how she's dealing with her family. I like the conversation between her and her mother and her father. Louise Fletcher plays her mother, funny enough. And I love the scenes with that. I love the scenes where she's talking to her mother and says, like, does Dad still beat you? And the mother just says, no, he doesn't. And then, like, she just gives a look like, I know he is. Stop lying to me. I love scenes between her and her parents. I think that they're great. And they're really... And the dad is under prejudice, too. Like, she's a woman cop. Like, he didn't want her to be a cop. So, she's got that, too. So I like that she's got a lot against her. Like, she has a lot against her in which there's a lot of prejudice, and then she is framed, basically, of doing nothing wrong. Like, she killed this guy who was going to like kill people in the grocery store, like, or just rob them. Like, she did it under, I think, a reasonable thing. Like, she killed him reasonably, because this guy was already about to, like, he just seemed like he was gonna do something, and in a split reaction, like, what do you do in that situation? And I feel like she did the right thing, I guess, even though killing is wrong. I just think it seemed like it made sense in that moment for her to kill him. But I really liked that, and I really liked how the villain in this movie is really effective and really, actually pretty terrifying. There's moments where you just have him alone, and he, with no real explanation, he just kind of is insane, and it's totally fine that there's no explanation, but like he like puts his hand on his head and just starts going like this and starts screaming like to himself. Like, this guy is just insane, and I think that made this, with the performance of that guy who played him, I don't know what his name is in real life, but that guy was really, really, really good and really scary. I loved how, again, they're playing a cat and mouse game between them both, and like he kills a lot of people, and he messes with her and her family, and it really shows how creepy of a person this guy is, and how great a performance the guy who played him did. I really liked this performance. I thought he was very creepy and very well done. And I really liked, without spoiling anything, I really liked the final fight. I thought the final fight was really awesome because it, it again, like Catherine Bigelow does well, where she has this gritty, realistic, like way of like gunfights, and like the ending is that, and it's really effective and it really works. And I liked all the locations that they went to. This is more than one location at the end. Like I thought that was really cool, and I thought that they did a great job of the ending fight. Like the ending fight was really entertaining as well, and intense. And I like how whenever we get to the very last moment of the movie, it's very bittersweet and again realistic, because the way it ends, it's like that makes sense that this is going to happen this way. Whatever that is, I won't really spoil it because I don't know if many people have. I mean, people have probably saw this if they were around that time, but I wasn't. I wasn't even born whenever this came out. But a lot of people now, I don't know if they've seen this one or heard of it. It's a pretty like. I bet it's a pretty rare Catherine Bigelow movie and a pretty rare Jamie Lee Curtis movie. Like they don't think of Jamie Lee Curtis when they think of this movie, or Catherine Bigelow either, because Catherine Bigelow has so many other big movies. So this one kind of I feel like is probably under the radar for a lot of people. So I feel like people should go and see this. I really enjoyed this movie, and I thought it was a really entertaining time. I thought Jamie Lee Curtis was great. I thought the villain was terrifying. I thought that the realistic approach in terms of like the shootouts and everything, like it worked really well, and the intensity was amped up because of the realism to it. So I really enjoyed Blue Steel. It was a really fun watch, and I hope you guys have seen it or will see it. And if you have seen it, tell me down below what you think. So thank you guys so much for watching, and take care.